I know that you've all been tired of seeing me with Raquel Welch and Julie Christie and at all the big establishment chic balls, and we're going to go to has to be one of the great sex symbols of the 70s, something a little farther out, but it's right up there on 3rd Avenue with all the big movies, Shampoo next door. We're going to be talking to Lady Divine, star of Pink Flamingos and Female Trouble, and at his right is John Waters, who created the film, the director and the filmmaker, and here's Mink Stoll, who plays Divine's daughter in Female Trouble, and then David Lochary, who plays Mr. Dashin. Donald Dasher. Well, this is, why did you choose not to do a sequel? I mean, sequels are very popular. How is it that instead of doing a sequel to Pink Flamingos, which...
I wanted to do a sequel if we'd moved to Boise, because that was what, at the end of Pink Flamingos, they said, we're all moving to Boise. I didn't want to move to Boise. I wanted to do something different. I didn't want to do a sequel. Band didn't do that well.
How do you feel about suddenly being catapulted to stardom and being just the rave of everyone, everywhere you go, Divine? And, I mean, you really, the inspiration for a third act in Sgt. Pepper, where I saw a dozen Divines come out at me on the stage.
I love it. It's something that I've always wanted. It's something that I've worked hard, and everyone else that we work with has worked hard for. I'm very happy. At times, it can be a nuisance when you're out with friends and things, and you just want to be alone, and you're not really on. And people will come over and I've had people sit on the table in front of me and just stare at me and start asking questions about the movies and things. And something, when you're with friends and just having a conversation, that can be bothersome, but I don't really mind it. But most of the time, it's a lot of fun.
I think everyone really wants to know is how you ever started on this. Did I hear you really were an insurance salesman in Long Island, and that, what's the story?
My wife and 3 children live in Long Island. But, John, we all grew up in the same neighborhood. And,
all of you together?
Yeah, well, suburban Baltimore.
Pretty in the same area, suburban Baltimore.
Baltimore?
Yeah, Baltimore, Maryland. And John got a camera and filmed parts of a party that I gave and parts of different one of us around town doing different things, and put it together and made a movie called Roman Candles. Right. And then after that we made Eat Your Makeup and Mondo Trasho, the Diane Linkletter story, Multiple Maniacs.
Now, what is the Diane Linkletter story? Now, that was a sad, tragic thing that happened to Diane Linkletter. I mean, well, didn't she kill herself on LSD and?
Her father's fault, probably, don't you think?
Well, I mean, the point is that did he sue, or did he get hysterical, or was there any? Have you got any feedback?
It was in all the newspapers. It's a news story. It's just a 10-minute film, and the only reason we did it is because I had a camera I was testing out, and it happened that day, and we just read the clippings, so we just did it.
Would you describe yourselves as sort of kind of a repertory theater in which you're using the same director, the same stars, and you're going to go on creating these little stories? And
I'd say so. It's a good description. I've used this.
It's not like we're going to do the same things ever again.
Right. We've done it once, but it's the same.
And a company of actors.
Right. It's been in every movie.
Well, I mean, I think what Pink Flamingos was described as, what is it, the worst, trashiest, tasteless, or what was it, the worst?
We tried to make the filthiest, about a movie about the filthiest people alive, and I think we came pretty close.
And then I heard all these parallels about the Manson murders, and this was all supposed to be paralleled. Is that true, or?
It's not really true. I think I went to the Manson trials a lot, and I think that influenced a lot of it. But I don't think there was any real parallels with the Manson family, no. I think the trials were a lot of drama in it. But beyond that, no, I don't think the Manson family were exactly like Divine in the film.
Well, I think there are 2 questions that come to my mind, that come to just about everybody's mind, and that is, did you really eat shit?
Yes. Yes, it was real.
I mean, I've heard of the method, but, did the Stellar Adler, or who prepared you for that?
No one. I just jumped down there and scarfed it up.
Hey! Oh, John, did you tell Divine that was going to be in the script, or was that like a nude scene you sprung on her?
No. Divine and I had hideous spring mouths where I just happened to eat this shit.
That was disgusting. A year.
We were disgusting.
We were going around the country to colleges, and they always used to say, "What are you going to do in your next film?" So we always said, "Eat dog shit," because people always say to you, "Eat shit." It's an expression. So Divine had said, sure, it would be a great idea. And it wasn't, I mean, people remember it.
I remember it. I remember it.
It was a horrible 10 seconds.
Well, how did you get it choreographed? I mean, the dog to come right up there.
We followed the dog around for about 3 hours. It belonged to friends of ours, and they kept it in the house for a couple of days, so it would shit right away. And when we went outside, it wasn't used to a camera crew, I guess. And every time it would get in position, it would look back and stand up and go away. So it took us 3 hours and 2 enemas before it finally did shit.
Applicator bottle.
And when it came out, I wasn't really prepared for the way it came out. I was expecting something else. I said to John, "Is that it?" And he said, "Yes." I just jumped down and scarfed it up.
And what did you do afterwards? I mean,
I brushed my teeth and rinsed my mouth out and called the hospital.
now you can't say I didn't ask that question, okay? And I guess one of the other ones, I was at the theater this morning, and the manager of the theater, of course, I guess had seen Female Trouble, and he said, is that a man or is that a woman? And I guess, that's your question.
Man.
Absolutely. And so what are these, I want to know? What are those?
They're foam rubber. They hang up.
How did you sort of get into of course, in Female Trouble, Divine really, it's a real tour de force, I think, acting. I think, in fact, you are up for an Academy Award. Haven't you been nominated, or?
No.
I really heard that.
Did you?
Really
they haven't
did.
called me yet or notified me. I'll go.
But Divine, I guess, you play Dawn Davenport, this kid whose life, I guess, is...
And Earl Peterson.
And Earl Peterson. How did you decide, John, to give her this dual role? And
It's her man. And I think it was a challenge to her. She never played a man on the screen before. And we filmed it with a double. And we filmed the whole scene, well, it's a rape scene. And we filmed the whole scene with Divine as a woman and the double in the men's clothes, and then switched the whole thing around and did it the other way, and then edited it together.
I really didn't even know it was you playing a double. Someone finally said, that's her, that's him. I said, no, that's, where's the hair, where's the makeup? That's
Shaved it right off in an hour.
And is it gone now? I mean, you really are.
Oh, well, yeah, I let it grow in for the part. We did the men's parts first. I let my hair grow in back up here and those big sideburns. I couldn't look at myself. I've gotten used to looking at myself with my head shaved back and no eyebrows. I didn't go out and I let my eyebrows.
How did you go about creating this Divine look? I mean, where did you get the inspiration, the makeup, the hair, the whole, the figure?
Van Smith designed it.
From the start.
The look, yeah.
When did you become Divine?
Well, John gave me that name. It was about 6-7 years ago. We started working together.
And
she was Divine before that, though, but it just hadn't been sucked out on the film.
Public hadn't realized it yet, right? And you crossed out Lady on the film. I had Lady Divine, but you crossed that out. Is that...
Well, Lady Divine was a character that I played in Multiple Maniacs.
That lady hasn't been bestowed on her by any
royalty. The Queen, the Netherlands, or anything.
No, I didn't marry the Duke or anything. It was just a character that I played. It was Lady Divine's cavalcade of perversions in Multiple Maniacs. And that's where the Lady Divine. It sort of stuck, though, through the years. People still, having print, will refer to me as Lady Divine.
You are Lady Divine. But, I'm a little disappointed the Egg Lady isn't here. I mean, I love you all, but I mean,
she's on her way.
She'll be at,
she's on her way, right?
That was fabulous. She does a rock and roll show now, too, where she sings Big Girls Don't Cry, A Big Hunk of Love, and does tap dancing.
Where did you get the ideas, these crazy ideas? I mean, I remember in Pink Flamingos when, you were raping and killing and eating people and burning down trailers. I mean, did you really burn down a trailer? And whose trailer?
Well, the trailer, when we got it originally, only cost $100, and Vince Perenio, who does all the sets, completely did it over. I mean, it was burned out from the junkyard when we got it. So, yeah, we burned it and just poured kerosene all over it and set it on fire. Mink almost caught on fire. Yeah, they set it.
Your car?
That would have been a great scene. That would have,
Well, I have outtakes of it where it almost did.
When I swung the torch back like this, and when it came up that way, it almost caught. Which
Seems
was
like
going on
Harry.
for 10 seconds because it was completely made of glass.
My brother would have squared you with a fire extinguisher.
We had 3 fire extinguishers on site for that.
5 gallons of gas.
It burned for hours.
I thought it was going to be like Bambi with little burnt animals running out of the woods as the...
It was very real, too.
Well, it was real.
Really real.
We just set it on
No,
fire.
when they were eating the bones,
That was real. No.
that wasn't real. You know.
They were real bones.
They were hog bones and cow bones.
Cow bones.
And you know, they won't sell that stuff to me anymore. They clamped down at the butcher in Baltimore. But they thought I was using it for some kind of experiment.
Give me
Because
some
I like
innards.
those livers and that. And the butcher would just give me a very strange expression.
But you know, obviously this kind of idea, this kind of film, and this kind of really thing can't be backed by Columbia Pictures or Warner
it's
Brothers
not.
or where did you get off the nerve? I mean, to sort of to create something like this, and where did you get the money? What kind of budget are you working with?
Well, Female Trouble cost $25,000, which was made from the money that we made from Pink Flamingos, which is still very, very cheap. And but I think we got a lot out of the $25,000 up on the screen.
No, really. Well, now, what about the distribution? I know that a lot of filmmakers have a lot of trouble. They make a film, maybe they can make it for $25,000, but then they can't get it distributed. And then the distributors want all the money, and then,
Yes, I know.
What are the problems of young filmmakers trying to get films out that maybe are a little daring, a little experimental?
Well, if they're a little daring, they're going to have a lot of trouble, because they have to either be real daring or real safe.
This is a lot of daring.
Yeah, well, New Line Cinema distributes both films. And they've been pretty good to me. They have a lot of art films, then they have some kung fu movies, and then they have us.
Are you the actors getting some of this money, and you split it up evenly? Say you're sort of a family group. What happens to the money? Is the distributor taking it all, or are you taking it all?
Well, the distributor gets a large amount. The exhibitors get the most, and then the distributors, and they make them salary, and then see every time I finance them all, so I try to get the money to make another one. Every time I double the budget. And everybody gets more each time.
So don't tell me you have some $50,000 crazy extravaganza plan?
Well, I have it planned, but not down yet enough to go into it, because I just finished Female Trouble. We just finished it. Yeah, all everybody knows is what color hair they're going to have.
You had blue hair in the last one, didn't you?
Magic blue.
What color did you get in the new one?
I don't know, what color do I get the new one?
I don't know. I just told David black. So.
You told me white.
Right.
One of the scenes that I thought was so funny was the guy was masturbating, or he was playing with himself, and it turned out to be was a girl, and it turned out to be a guy. That was really surprising.
That's Elizabeth's Coffee. She's in Female Trouble too. She's the girl that Divine's making out with in jail at the end. She looks completely different.
That jail set was so real, don't you?
It was real. It was the Baltimore City prison.
How did you ever get in there?
Because the warden was a big fan of Pink Flamingos and said we could film it as long as Divine came. And it turned out that he had seen that. He had seen Multiple Maniacs, and he really loved our films. And he was
a hippie warden?
Not a hippie, but for a warden, he was very liberal.
He was liberal.
To let us, because we carried the electric chair in there with all the people dressed in costume through the big gates. With all these prisoners went right up. He gave us, carrying the electric chair through the gates.
With the women wardens, were they real?
One of the women wardens that have lines and all, no. But in the background of one long shot, there's a warden. There's a matron that's real.
Are you union?
No.
Did you have any flack from that, or?
No, because nobody ever makes movies in Baltimore. I mean, we get a lot of cooperation there from people because no one has ever. I guess when I call up and say, "Can we make a film here?" no one's ever asked them, so they don't know who we are. And they say, "Yeah." But then when we get there, it's too late for them to say, because we have all this equipment, all this crew. So it's sort of hit and run.
Hit and run.
Sometimes we have to keep the people that own the places occupied while
Right.
Entertain, right?
Right.
The ones that aren't on the screen at the particular time, go talk.
Yeah, go in there and talk to him about he's into politics.
Are you using scripts, or is this all improvisation?
It's all scripted.
All scripted.
It's completely conventionally made. It's written, rehearsed. We do takes till we get the
You
look.
rehearse the shit scene?
Oh, no.
We rehearse the look.
Rehearse the look, right?
That was the one take.
Yeah, that was one take.
Have you had other offers? Is this, you've had so much, Pink Flamingos played non-stop at midnight for years.
Well, they've all done other plays and things.
Of course, it's very popular now, going from movies to plays. Are you planning to hit the Mechanic Theater in Baltimore sometime?
I don't think so. Right.
What have your dreams of Broadway?
Well, there's been talk of it. Just talk. There's
Wouldn't kick it out of her life.
No. And there's been talk of a movie offer and of a nightclubs act, sort of, like a Take on the Road.
Is that
You should do your trampoline act at Reno Sweeney's.
That flip was, how did you ever flip all of this beauty?
Oh, it wasn't easy. It was frightening. But, so I'm not very athletic. I like to swim and everything, but I'm not much as far as other sports. But it was pretty scary because I almost fell off a couple of times when we were rehearsing it. But
I remember that.
Yeah, a trainer, like I'm laughing. An instructor. And he would get on and he would bounce up and down and help, show me what to do.
But it wasn't a double, you did all your own.
I did all of it.
I remember, was it in San Francisco where you threw the fish and the...
Well, we used to do that.
Food.
We used to do that, but now we do it in the movie, so we can't do that anymore.
Where did the people came in to watch the train? The ones you shot, did you just take them off the street?
No, they were just all friends of mine.
So everyone got involved and...
Yeah. The woman who does the casting, Pat Moran, got them all.
Now, I looked it up in the New York Times and it said, female trouble, no rating.
Right.
Is that beyond X or beyond...
Well, see, you don't need a rating. You can rate yourself X, which they've done. But right, X squared. But
nothing square about that film, no.
But you can't put an R. I wanted to put R minus, which is what I always wanted for a rating, but they get real pissed off if you do that. So there's no official rating. You have to pay to get a rating. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. It
costs a couple $1,000. Well, it depends how much your budget is. Like for a big Hollywood movie, it's I think $5,000 to get a rating.
So you can just say no rating, thank you.
Yes, it's just you can rate yourself X free.
Does the Catholic Church put you on?
I want to be on the condemned list so bad because they used to read that to me in Catholic school all the time.
We're not on there.
Well, they haven't. I don't think we've had a screening for the Legion of Decency yet.
Now it's never show in Baltimore,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people who see the film want to say they're on Angel's Dust, they're on mescaline, they're on LSD.
I'm on R. But not when we film. Nobody's on drugs and liquor. Or
There's no drug inspiration. This is because
No.
you're really the gathering so serious.
You can't be stoned or drunk and
Well,
film.
you can't be real fucked up when you're trying to remember lines and your movement and everybody else's lines. I say everybody's lines along with them. But you can't be. You have to be straight to do it.
Did you go to acting class, or where did you learn to act?
I never had any training. We just
Natural.
jumped in front of the cameras and started, and it's a much
No magic.
into theater.
And those outfits, those crazy outfits. Who did all those outfits?
Van Smith did all the costumes and makeup, Pink Flamingos, and for this one.
Were you at all nervous about exposing your body and you really let it all hang out in various scenes?
Well, I've done that in other films. I have a rear nude shot in Multiple Maniac in the beginning, where I'm laying on a chaise. And what else?
Nudity isn't. That's not too hard to do.
You don't have any hang-ups to appearing nude on the...
Film.
Yeah.
It gets chilly out in those tanks and things.
I remember that scene with the chicken.
David likes to expose himself.
David had to expose himself in the park all the time.
You're going to pull your zipper down.
Go ahead, it's okay. It's all right. Do you all get along perfectly? Is there any kind of jealousy or any kind of friction ever?
If you know somebody for 8 years, I'm not going to say none of us have ever had an argument. However, I think we get along very well working together.
We all still speak and we've been together a long time.
Yeah.
Well, what's the truth about your past? Do you really have a wife and children out there? Or
In Los Angeles. Myrtle and the 3 kids. 2 dogs and
A 2-car
a
garage,
little ranch house.
part-time job at IBM.
Have your parents all seen your work? I mean,
No.
Mine know about it. I get along with my parents very well. They think fine. You're not in prison. You're not on welfare. But they don't come see. They never go to the movies. They would never certainly see this film. They would be offended at Earthquake, probably.
I asked my mother to see this one and she refused.
Well, I asked your mother to be in it. David's mother's in 2 of them.
Oh,
She's in this one.
was that a real baby when you had the baby
Yes.
ripped off the umbilical cord?
That was made out of rubbers.
Was that a real baby?
Yes, it was a friend of ours. Should have had it about a week or 2 before that, I think.
It was brand new.
And if you
Boy
know,
for girl.
yes,
It was his first drag.
the woman that plays the secretary in the beauty parlor, if you notice in the movie, she's real pregnant. Well, she was pregnant with that baby. And when we went there, her mother-in-law was there from London, who had never met the baby or anything, or us. And we came in and took the baby out of the crib and put fake blood on it and everything. And the mother-in-law was very, very upset.
You're going to get the child abuse board.
We didn't abuse that child. The child was, all we did, it just was
Well, he
asleep.
gave birth.
It didn't
The
scar the
child's
child.
mother said I did a real good job.
Right. Child's mother was just pushing her into showbiz at an early
She
age.
wanted her baby in the show.
And then the other thing I think that sort of I noticed is you sort of were, I expect the Hare Krishna people to be picketing immediately in front of, you
We
know.
hope so. As long as they don't give away stink sticks.
Really?
I mean, how
We're
does,
Hare Krishna bigots.
is there some kind of serious political or philosophical statement behind the film?
Well, I'm sure not going to make one.
Eat shit. Oh, that's the other movie.
Right. Go fuck yourself.
This was Go Fuck Yourself. After Go Fuck Yourself and Eat Shit, I've done both of those now.
Next is coming up.
Who knows?
I mean, actually, no statement at all. It's
Crime is beauty.
satire or any kind of.
Oh, well, I think the movie's made to entertain people, to make people laugh, and to show them something they haven't seen before. But I hate to hear a filmmaker say, it means this, and this is why I made it. I just made it to make it and to entertain people and hope it
Female
does.
Trouble is something you've never seen before. And Pink Flamingos is something you'll never see again. I'm convinced of that. That was the ultimate. Yeah, that was really nice.
But I didn't want to try. Everybody thought I was going to try and top Pink Flamingos in grossness. There was no way to do that except to murder somebody on film or have the cast just, you know, screaming, shrieking, eating enema bags and puking on each other. I mean, if I thought if I did that, it would really paint myself into a corner.
It was nice this time to get away from bathroom humor.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. The Pink Flamingos was dirtier.
But there's no question about that. But there were a lot of sort of almost semi-philosophical statements in this film, you know, that you viewed sex as a violation of the spirit.
I didn't. The character in the movie did, which was a joke. I mean, because everybody's supposed to be so sexually free and everything, so you don't hear that much anymore. People say,
Crime,
I hate
you.
Right.
And the whole,
Right. Please, yes.
you get more beautiful with crime. These aren't any kind of reflections of the way you think society is going.
Well, I do think that the way, if anyone wants to become famous, the quickest possible way to become famous is to murder somebody, a famous person.
That's fun.
Because you'll be on the front page, like none of this entertainment page stuff. I mean, hard news.
Headline.
Right.
Go ahead.
So that's what the movie was about. Somebody that just wanted to be famous, but took a shortcut and didn't mind what happened to her. Thought it was worth it.
Was this your own inspiration, the story that there was never a real Dawn Davenport?
No, there wasn't. I mean,
If there was, I'd tell you.
right.
And
That was her idols.
Was that thing about Ron Galella? You had sex with, was that? Or the
Juan
Oh,
Corona.
I see.
Well, he's a dress designer.
No, he's not a photographer.
Photographer.
It's a paparazzi.
Right.
Oh, right.
Have you, now that you're in New York, you have this big opening up at the Coronet, which is what, 59th?
No, the Coronet, the RKO 59th Street.
59th Street, and
59, 22nd, and 3rd.
are you waiting for all the serious film critics to come out?
Oh, yeah.
They've seen it.
They've seen it, but I don't think they're going to care for it. I think Variety gave us a very good, nice review that said established critics will shudder, but I expect they probably will.
How do you feel about the critics? You know.
Well, I think any criticism's good for you. And you can't expect a critic that sees Shampoo and then Murder on the Orient Express and then Female Trouble at the same time to exactly
But
get it.
shampoo, you know, the whole thing about...
Well, I didn't say shampoo.
Well, it's about hairdressers, and you've got hairdressers in this one. Unfortunately,
The beauties are.
It's still a little
Yeah. Right, they weren't shooting. I'm sure Goldie Hawn doesn't shoot eyeliner in it.
Exactly. Yeah. But what is this with hairdressers? Suddenly hairdressers are becoming like glamour symbols, and everyone's really taking off on hairdressers. So.
Yeah, well, I don't know why that is.
Did you at all begin to identify with Dawn at all? Did you really get into it? I mean, you hear about, well, who was that, the one that played in Godfather 2, you know, that famous acting teacher who was in the movie?
Lee Strasberg.
He said that, you know, he came home in his white good collar, planning to buy her nightgown. Did it enter your personal life, Dawn?
No, I would leave Dawn on the set when I would leave the set.
Bring her
Go
back
home.
for rehearsals.
Bring her back for rehearsals and bring her back for the day we filmed. But,
We knew a lot of girls in high school that were like
oh yeah, that looked just like those girls.
white lipstick and teased hair, and a lot of Aquanet.
Some of the characters in the movie did actually look like that several years ago.
Do you think the appearing in these movies is going to spell the end of a serious, dramatic acting career as far as, you know, being blacklisted in Hollywood, or do you think that, you know...
No, I've done other things, and it doesn't matter to me.
And were you all any of you embarrassed at what you did, or is it, you know...
Hell no. I wouldn't do it. We did it again.
Waiting for the next?
Yeah.
How long does it take to shoot something like that?
Well, see, we don't film every day. We filmed it about 1 or 2 days a week, and all the rest of the week rehearse it. I don't know. I think we were about 20 days altogether, actual film days. About.
Probably.
Yeah.
5 months altogether.
Yeah.
It's 4 actual film days a month.
Yeah, once a week or so.
What are some of the things that the fans come up and say to you on the street and stop you, and what's it done for your sex life, your personal life? I mean, you
Oh, sex life, it's picked up considerably. Thank God for that. But for autographs and just to talk to me and ask questions about the film.
You get shit in the mail. I
Oh,
do.
people send me shit, and when I do appearances, people throw shit on the stage and bring me flowers with turds hanging out of it. And
You don't have this kind of fetish, I assume.
no, people think that I do murder people and eat shit all the time, but I don't. And but sometimes I get other reactions. People think I'm one of the most hideous people they've ever seen. Why do I want to look this way? Even when I'm not dressed, because I'm usually not in makeup. You've seen me out. You know.
Very butch as a couple of
That's my interpretation of a man. But I can
Somewhere
also,
between a sham and a...
it's a shim. A she and a him, whatever.
But what do you do off camera? What is
Eat a lot. I'm always hungry.
Just starving right this minute, I
Yeah, do you hear
bet.
my stomach growling?
McDonald's
But
downstairs.
I swim a lot. I live in LA. I lived at the beach. I went swimming every day. Spent a lot of time on the beach. Got a lot of parties. I like to go out. Just about what everybody does. Really.
Are you happy being is this sort of your dreams becoming fulfilled, all of you? You always dreamed of being up there with names and lights and cameras, and it's pretty logical dream of this kind of thing, and then they have this kind of perverse humor or ideas, and then to really see it all happen, would you say your dreams are all coming true, that you're sort of feeling
There's a certain amount of anxiety that goes along with it.
Because it's not all just glamour and having a good time.
It is.
When you make a movie, it's not. It's
You
hard
get up
work.
at 5 o'clock in the morning and work until 1 o'clock in the morning without breaks. We've had days like that many times, and get up the next day and do it again. Not very often do we shoot daily, but sometimes we have.
How long does that hair and makeup? I mean, she has the most fantastic hairdos I've ever seen. Not even the Italian Vogue has anything like that. You know, very
A
crazy.
rooster. Did you see that one review? They called it a crazed rooster.
David did those.
You were a hairdresser?
No.
You just sort of an artist with hair?
Yeah.
Sculptor of hair.
Sculptor of hair.
A wig sculptor.
No, it's a little. I used to call my mother's.
Not like that, I hope.
Did you all work on the story idea? Did you sort of
No.
you did this all by yourself? Or sort of, how long does it take you to turn out one of those scripts and come up with all those kinky, crazy, far out, disgusting...
How long does it take to do that?
Right. Well, I usually write about the first third of it before I start, and then write the rest as I go along, a week or two ahead of time. Because that way I can see how people are doing. If we have somebody we've never used before and they're not doing too well, they get run over by a car or elope or, or something happens to them.
Are you happy with the way Female Troubles turned out? Are you happy with the way the final print?
You haven't seen it.
You haven't seen the final print yet?
They were having trouble with it.
No, it's
Sorry, no.
Why is it that the stars never see their own film until it's too
We
late?
saw it in 16, but see, they blew it up to 35 millimeter. And I haven't seen the blow up.
It was finished yesterday.
I think
And of course, I guess it's an invitational premiere tonight at midnight, so that they're selling tickets. This is on at 11, so if you want to cut a little short and race out, you can make the midnight, and you'll be there in person.
Well,
we'll all be there in person. And it was so nice. We left the theater, and they handed us autographed portraits. Divine. Did you really sign those?
Not each one. I signed one, and they
they stamp.
yeah.
You shouldn't have said that.
Well, I couldn't sit down and sign. How many were there?
With thousands.
What do you think of the current sort of artistic scene that's happening right now in New York? You said you mentioned you're thinking of sort of staying in New York. I heard just the other night at...
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. I'm talking to some people about a nightclub act, and if that all works out, then possibly I would stay around for a while. I'm not really sure.
What about you? Do you live in Baltimore? Or?
Yeah, that's where I live.
You really live in
Sleaze capital.
Baltimore?
It's a sleaze charm city. Well, I live there. I keep a place there, and then I go away a lot. I love to keep a home base there.
But you film always in Baltimore.
Yes.
You must be really notorious down there.
No, not really. You'd be surprised our films hardly ever play in Baltimore. That's one good thing why to make it there. When we make it, people leave us alone and we can work.
We're more anonymous there than anywhere else.
Yeah.
That's good that way because you can concentrate on what you're doing.
See, they have a censor board there, and they hate me, and they always make me cut stuff. 3 old ladies that sit there, they watch 3 movies at once and yell on a microphone, "Rear entry, cunnilingus," to the projectionist, and he marks it, and then they make him cut it out. She said to me, "People are still calling and telling me I should have cut that dog duty scene." But see, they said no sex. You can eat dog shit's fine, but no sex, which says a lot about community standards of Baltimore.
Is the film having any trouble at all being distributed throughout the country? Did you have any trouble with Pink Flamingos? I heard that Pink Flamingos could only play in select cities.
No, it played in lots and lots of cities. It played in L.A.
San Francisco.
There's a problem in Canada and Europe because America's just the freest for censorship.
It says
It's got
multiple maniacs on the paper. It has cuts and deletions. None acceptable. No with an explanation.
right, and then it got busted in Switzerland. And,
It seems like the film should have made millions by now. I mean, it plays a year.
but it only plays it twice a week at midnight.
Oh.
That makes it a little different.
Do you feel now that you have sort of, now that you become really cult figures and people are, talking about, talking Pink Flamingos and this, does it make you nervous at all or anxious or sort of tired, be a go-go dancer or,
No, I think, well, I didn't try to top Pink Flamingos. I tried to do something a little different. If I'd only worried about trying to top Pink Flamingos and grossness and shock value, I guess I would have been worried. But no, we just want to keep making movies.
What were some of the funny things that happened? There must have been some outrageous stories that were...
Your scene was the car accident. I thought it was the car accident. Did you see the car accident scene?
In female.
In female, was that in the first 5 minutes?
No, when she's playing car accident.
Oh, that was great. That was... I couldn't believe that. That was...
Divine came in right in the middle of it. Can tell that story? It's funny. It was one of the few times Divine fucked up. She was pouring the ketchup all over herself, and then Divine came in the tank and started to do her line. Went,
Came in too soon.
Yeah, you came in too soon. And there she was covered with ketchup. So we had to quickly get a new outfit and start over.
Clean up the accident.
Yeah, clean up the accident, start over.
And who was that cute little blonde Shirley Temple girl, about 12 years old? I mean,
Hillary Taylor.
Well, how did the parents feel about her appearing?
Well, her mother made a lot of the clothes for the movie. Her mother's a friend of ours. That little kid, she does a lot of, she models clothes. She's doing well. She wants to quit 4th grade and be a model. Yeah. And she loved playing a brat, because little kids never get to play brats. And she got to spit and scream and say dirty words and be horrible. She loved it. And
the chains, when you take her upstairs to chain her to the bed and everything.
She liked that.
And whipped her with the antenna from the car.
She was good to work with.
Yeah. She's like about 30 years old.
She wasn't real crazy when I came in. You know,
No, she said something to you about you were playing her part.
Yeah, when suddenly Taffy grew up. But she was great to work with, and her mother was fine. Her mother wasn't uptight. Her mother, we all know.
I'm surprised, we once had Salvador Dali on the show, and he was painting this young girl and the mother in nude and silver. We had letters from the Child Abuse Board, and I'm surprised we didn't have any kind of response from any kind.
We didn't hurt the child. I mean, he didn't really
whip her.
hurt
the child either, but they were let us do.
All she did was scream and spit and jump rope.
I don't believe that they had that scene where they, they raped her with the broom handle.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I heard
they're doing that on TV. It can be just about anything.
It is shocking, isn't
tried
it?
to turn it off.
Well, here you are on uncensored television. It's something you always wanted to say.
Send money.
Yeah, give me $1. And I want a mink coat, white,
Right.
size 46, the large collar.
In cuffs.
Yes, just like that one.
I didn't see that. She usually wears those pork chops on her hand.
Not anymore.
No.
Now she's all frequent gowns and
the
mink
Academy
coats.
Awards, did you see her on television? She came out with
With
like
the
a pork chop.
And she
She's there with the antlers that one year, with Christmas decorations all strung in her head.
What kind of a nightclub act do you think you might be doing in New York?
Well, what we were talking about was a Vegas style sort of thing. Something fitting to the image.
Do you have trouble at all getting clothes to fit, or
No, everything's
They're all made. We have seams just as everywhere.
no hints about your next project?
Nope.
Is it possible you could give us one of the little scenes from Female Trouble? Could you give us a little dialogue? Could you sort of I'll say
For 14, you don't look so good.
Is that what they call it?
The circus in town.
Throwing insults around can be fun.
The host just quit.
The host hasn't quit.
Where is it? There he is.
Come on. And it reenact the whole movie.
Oh, do your line,
Where's my
Dave.
spaghetti? Who's going to aim it right for your head?
The brown hair.
You should have to sitting here.
Divine started by getting up on the stool and maybe showing us a little of that go-go dancing you became so famous.
Oh, all right.
Go, Don! Go! Go, Don! Oh, can I have your autograph?
Oh, Cheryl.
And, do you have a camera?
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's Donald. What was the pose that you called for?
Camera for.
Take pictures of your mother.
You must be cockeyed, man.
Still forget.
Don't I have any lines in there?
You just go and get the spaghetti.
Oh, right. And then you run out.
And then you have to model.
Yes.
Model!
What do you want, David?
What?
Give me something. What do you want?
I tested, something worked.
Which one was that?
She had a syringe and she her eye.
Right. We had a nurse on the set for that in case any cops are watching.
So we had to film it over again because while David was shooting up with eyeliner, I was so nervous I was saying his lines along with it.
Say it.
Liquid eyeliner. Liquid eyeliner.
Is that a manager on the phone?
Police.
But that was very good. I suggested the real thing, of course, is a little.
Usually when we improvise, we just talk dirty. That's why
That's
the
the trouble.
That's why the movies are scripted.
Please. Don't say any
Did you ever envision a day maybe with Pink Flamingos or Female Trouble or with some of the other great shows, Mucho Trash,
Mondo Trash Show.
Eat Your Munchies,
Eat your makeup.
Eat Your Makeup.
Yes.
Do you ever envision any of this being shown on television?
No.
It's possible.
Television.
I don't know how.
don't think it's likely within the next 30 or 40 years.
Well, you can't tell. 40 years, anything can happen.
How old are you, Divine?
29.
And can you tell me anything at all about your past at all? Your normal childhood, school?
Oh, I didn't like school, and nobody liked me. But things have changed considerably. Some of those guys now are asking for kisses and a hug and an autograph. The same people that wanted to beat me up 10 years ago. Doesn't make jocks.
Would you say that you were always sort of flamboyant and outrageous, and you weren't really an insurance salesman or a computer
high school
programmer?
She was always a party girl.
I always gave parties.
Tell us about what some of the parties are. What's your idea of a party?
When the parents go out of town.
Right.
I catered, sit down,
And charge it to somebody else.
and just sign a check for it. Any name, doesn't matter.
I used to go to parties.
Department wants to give a New Year's Eve party.
Right. I went to a party one time, Divine had, and the person was catered and everything. The person said, "Are you from Mr. Harris?" And I thought, "Mr. Harris? Oh, yes." And I walked in, and it was a catered sit-down dinner
How
for
they ever
about
felt?
25 people.
I don't know how they ever found
And
it.
of course, they'd give them a fake name. It was at the Hilton, and all these waiters were coming out. People were real drunk and puking and go, "Waiter!
Service!
Yeah, they said, "Are you folk singers?" Yes.
They're in a catered party that each person takes 2 drinks. They hadn't counted on us and our 10.
There were 14, and we drank 22 bottles of champagne with dinner, not counting drinks before and after.
They just got
People were laying on the table with their food.
Well, what's going to happen with female trouble? Are you going to have a wild catered party at the Hilton?
No,
Or,
we're not. We're just having the opening, which is plenty.
did you invite all of the New York first night people? And
Well, I didn't invite anybody. The John Springer Agency invited them all.
John Springer. John Springer, I mean, Elizabeth Taylor's agent, and how did that ever happen? I mean, I didn't think that John Springer was really sort of establishing a very sort of, old-time Hollywood big star. How did that ever happen?
I handle all the live films.
That's the only reason. Although the woman that works there said that she's had a real good time.
Have you encountered any kind of repression or anything funny in New York? Is New York ready for you? We're ready for
Sure, I
you
think
here,
so.
but
I hope
on the
so.
streets or...
Cab drivers are nice.
Yeah, I never have any trouble walking down the streets. Unless
New York is
people.
used to it.
Yeah.
I don't think more than anywhere else.
Where do you come from?
I live in Baltimore.
You live in Baltimore?
We all come from Baltimore.
Baltimore is such a strange place. You can go on the Metroliner from Washington to Baltimore.
Yes.
I didn't know. And who's the famous hairdresser in Baltimore? There's some big hairdresser there that was living with
Buddy
Spiro
Hatch?
Agnew.
Yeah, Buddy Hatch.
Now tell us the truth. Now, was it really Spiro Agnew's son?
David will tell you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, David will tell you.
Baltimore dirt on that. We always wondered that one.
Well, we heard he came in. He's come in since he came out.
may have taken the rear door,
He's married now to a girl.
He was married then, wasn't he?
He divorced her to move in.
Right, and his girl, he's a weightlifting instructor at the Holiday Health Club.
Right.
Well, his father is helping inform our country's policy.
Right.
He still is. He's selling it all to the Arabs.
No, they just fired him.
Did they?
Yes. No, Agnew quit because he said he was being exploited by his publicity-hungry. I know, my God, looks like a pinball kingpin.
What are your political affiliations? Are you
Kill everyone.
Republican or conservative?
Kill everyone now. Eat shit. Condone cannibalism.
It's old lines.
And do you keep it up all? What do you think about the current economic state?
It's a mess, isn't it? The whole country's fucked up. Can't buy anything. It's ridiculous.
Do you have any answers, any kind of, tips for...
Well, I got rid of Nixon. I always wanted to call for his impeachment a few years ago. I finally did that. But who knows what will happen now.
Have you had any trouble, any of you existing as artists, as actors, as filmmakers? Did you have a long fight where you had to sort of, do all sorts of things you didn't want to do? Or...
Yeah, we're still fighting. It's not
I used to live in New York about 6 years ago and go around rip my tennis shoe and go into all the department stores and say, "Oh, look, I just ripped my tennis shoe on your Escalade." They give you $10. That was many years ago.
Can you still do that?
I don't know, you can try it. They give you a lot of shit. I mean, she would say, you liar.
I tried
right
to get
there.
your shoes.
And you just keep saying, I did. It's the hardest way to ever make $10, but if you really have to, it works. It worked for me in about 1965.
And what about all these rumors that you're on the lam from several states that you can't go back?
That's not
Trouble
true.
with the law?
Oh, no. Are you
Come on,
kidding?
build the legend, build the myth, you know.
There are a few places.
Well, in the past, I have had some run-ins with the police department, but
They were minor.
they
Well,
were,
minor misunderstandings.
yeah, but that's all.
Gender confusion.
But
I did hold the crown of misdemeanor.
that was a show that we did in San Francisco.
Have you ever entered a beauty pageant or
The misdemeanor pageant.
there really was a misdemeanor pageant?
Well,
It was
it was a show.
a benefit show for someone in San Francisco that we all did.
And then I understand you did didn't you do a clap benefit or something?
Yeah.
At the Fillmore in San Francisco with the,
You want to explain what that is, maybe for some of our
explain what?
clap? Clap benefit, no, but some, you know,
Oh, well, in San Francisco, they had the biggest outbreak of syphilis and gonorrhea.
So I thought, what a better spokeswoman.
Than they had anywhere else. And I was in town at the
The
time.
person in the world that can give it to herself.
And I was in town at the time doing a personal appearance with Mondo Trasha. Mondo Trasha. And they asked me to do a song. The Cockettes were appearing there then.
Sing a song.
And I can't remember it.
I don't remember it either.
Yeah, could you sing a little song for us, or?
I really can't remember the song. It was about clap. But I did
That would be the
that,
best one.
you know, well, to raise money for the clinic. For the clinics.
Are there any other benefits or charities that are dear to you, close to your body, or anybody want to?
Welfare rights. I like this
Feed
American.
free medicine, feed the people.
What do they have out there in San Francisco? Aid to the totally dependent.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's what they don't have in New York.
Totally
You know.
disabled.
Disabled. Right.
I applied for it once and they said I was insane, but not permanently.
I've been on it for 3 years.
Hide your face.
Yeah, I'm totally and permanently disabled.
Right. Mink, that was the victim. She got the envelope. She won. It's a grant. It's a grant that they get.
It keeps people sane.
Do you think in the creative, artistic world, drugs are becoming less important or more important? Do you notice an increase?
The last.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people smoke now, but almost everybody smokes. I don't think acid is as big as it was, or at least in our
It's
immediate
like our
group.
age has passed.
Yeah, I
You know,
think drugs are going
The
out.
one thing I guess that's coming to New York and really almost sweeping, almost like saying it'll sweep the country, is something that comes from LA called angel's dust. And we've been hearing all this.
Horrible.
Yeah, I've had some not personally, but with friends, some bad experiences with that.
There seems to be a great mystique around angel's dust. I'm sort of really asking everybody what they know about it.
David?
Trying to bring this out. I don't quite understand what
One
it
of the
is.
types of things that they use, from what I understand, is angel dust. And
Hippopotamus
it's
tranquilizer.
usually it's an anesthetic that you have to break over with alcohol with, usually.
It can be very dangerous. I mean, it can just distort your
Gets you off.
I've seen people just act like babies on it. I just thought, oh, poor thing.
Do you basically lead nocturnal lives, or you sort of get up at 5 o'clock at night, or do you...
Depends what we're doing.
In New York, it's more that way than anywhere else, I think.
We've been getting up every day at 8 o'clock.
Oh, well, we do, but I mean, 5 o'clock in the morning, everything's still going strong.
Yeah.
Do you like New York? Do you like, does it excite you, the vibrancy, the
Yeah, sure.
traditional... Yeah, compared to Baltimore.
Well, the strength
I
is
do
to
the-
leave New York at 10 o'clock at night from Penn Station and see millions of people around. You arrive in Baltimore, it's the last train. The train station is closed from 1 in the morning until 5.
See, they have to because there's a horrible crime problem. You hail a cab and the cab driver robs you instead of the other way around.
Why don't you move to New York? I mean, we're really
Because I love it
capital
there.
of the world, and we're the center of...
David lives here.
New York is very close to Baltimore. I mean, it's close enough to get there easily. And Baltimore,
3 hours from now.
It's real cheap in Baltimore.
yes, cheap and quiet.
I was there once.
They have the best
I
thrift
took Jane's
stores in the
job,
world there.
And she was 3 hours late, and I remember waiting and waiting. I'm glad I did. How is stardom in these films affected your sex life and your personal life?
I get by.
Or do you find yourself something more desirable?
I don't find me any more desirable.
Oh, I thought that.
Depends what element you're around.
My sex life was steady growth, so my sex life seems fine.
Go ahead, what were we saying?
This is the Kinsey report.
People who come up and people who think that if they're into eating shit, they think that Divine eats shit, they want dates with her. My roommate just dropped a huge turd in the toilet anyway.
How nice.
And,
No, I'm sorry. I'll roto-rooter.
Liar, no.
What about, do you find yourself being approached by a lot of people, you know, I do this, I do that, I'm weird, I'm,
Well,
you know,
I'll tell you that the kind of parts that I don't need. See, I don't need weird people. The kind of people I need when I make a film is the straight people, the people who play the parents, the school teachers, the cops,
the judge.
Yeah, but I got all that from a one ad in the
he was
paper.
drunk the whole time.
But I had in Pixel Bingo's the guy with the asshole that does that little trick. He called.
Go ahead, describe that. I forgot that.
Well, he just
Mingos had so many unforgettable scenes. I forgot some.
Well, he just had this asshole that. What could he do? I don't know how to describe what he did.
It's a yoga trick.
It's a yoga trick, but it looked like it was singing. Yes. But anyway, he called me up and said, my name is so-and-so, and I have something you might be interested in. And I said, what? And he told me. I thought, well, okay, come over. And he came over, took his clothes off, showed me, and signed him up. And he was great.
Would you describe yourself as a transvestite?
No, I hate that word.
Is that a
shim?
A what?
Shim.
What's that?
She and a him.
Oh,
Tell you about that term. Transvestite sounds like you get off sexually from wearing
And
it.
I don't. My favorite part of this is taking it off. Or drag. I'm an actor. I play men and women. Like if you must, people would call it a drag queen. I guess I would prefer that to a transvestite.
transvestite sounds too serious, too clean.
Ugly.
When you put it down.
I messed up my pretty thing.
You would have seen it if he had, because Shim had, because all the things you wore were see-through.
Yeah, but it was all fake, everything underneath.
It was
That wasn't your real,
oh no, fan designed that and had it made.
your legs, those nice legs.
Oh, I have those.
Those Fredericks pads.
When did you first suddenly decide to put foam rubber in?
Oh, I don't know how it happened.
Yeah, tearing the sofa apart.
Those had to have big udders.
Better than towels.
Do you always use the same thing? I heard some people use cooked rice or...
Used to use lentils.
I used to use lentils, but I was on the plane flying to San Francisco once, and all of a sudden I thought I was having a stroke or something. I couldn't breathe, and then I realized the lentils weighed about 20 pounds. It was just laying on my chest. It wasn't normally there. So I switched from those and to foam.
Do you ever travel to foreign countries with films? Did they let you in England? Or?
No, I've never been out of the States. I've been to Canada.
Mexico. You're not taking us to the Cannes Film Festival?
The distributor does.
They get to go.
You create quite a commotion.
I thought so. I'd like to go. If anyone wants to send me a ticket.
Springer. Well, if there's nothing else, is there any last little tidbits you want to say about the film, or you want to give your own commercial for Female Trouble? Or?
You can hear them on the radio.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Tell me, I think you should describe your part. Go ahead.
My part? Oh, I'm that 14-year-old demented, totally retarded brat.
Right.
I loved it. Just like little Hillary, I got my rocks off just yelling and screaming at kids. 4 hours a week, I could be shocking.
What was your favorite line?
I wouldn't suck your dick if I was suffocating and there was oxygen in your balls.
That was a great line.
I would say that was your best too.
Dave?
What's your favorite line?
Donald Dasher.
Look into...
The Donald Dasher beauty czar, and we find Dawn Davenport and try to make her a star. give her what she needs to get her career rolling.
But explain a little bit about, you had a very special salon where you only accepted certain applicants. And
Yes, well, there had to be special girls.
We had to audition for an appointment.
And no one really wanted to make it that week.
Yes, because they were looking for somebody especially hideous.
And your favorite line?
And
Which is the most obscure line in the film.
I don't hear. Do you want to explain that so we can watch this?
instead of no,
Just and.
Well, I play the part of Dawn Davenport and Earl Peterson, who rapes Dawn Davenport when she runs away from home on Christmas Day.
Because she didn't get her
Cha-cha heels, and she got ugly little pumps instead. And so she ran away. She was raped, then she lived on her own, had a baby. She was a waitress, a go-go girl,
Mugger.
a mugger,
shit kicker and a thief.
shit picker, and a thief. And I wanted to say burglar.
Burglar.
And then
You hear about
Uh-huh.
chubby chicks that are working at
there's a chubby chaser working at the beauty salon up the street. My two girlfriends tell me.
What is a chubby chaser? That was in the
Somebody
Ritz.
likes fat people.
You never heard that?
No, I heard it in the Ritz for the first time. It was
The chubby chaser,
Someone that prefers fat people.
just what it
I'm
implies.
not as fat as I look on camera. I want you to know that.
I am. And then,
Then you get hooked on.
yeah, through the years, then I meet the Dashers. I get confused between the Marbles and the Dashers. I met the Dashers. Then I'm Earl again when Mink
very
comes to
complicated.
You have to see the movie.
You really do. You know, if you're a connoisseur of movies, see it. But if you only have one film to see, I don't know. I'm not going to risk saying that. But if you go to everything like I do, you can't miss Female Trouble because it's unique. There's nothing on Third Avenue like it. That's for sure. What was your favorite line?
I'm so fucking beautiful I can't even stand it myself.
John?
I'm not in it.
What's your favorite line?
My favorite line in it. Throw a goddamn penny in a fountain and make a goddamn wish. That's my favorite line.
Would you think it's a family picture? Or?
Oh, yes.
Yes. I think compared to any of my other movies, it's, well, not a family picture, of course not, but it's less offensive, I think.
It's plenty offensive. This is our Couri Hay and Anton Perich saying good night. Thank you, Divine. Thank you, John Waters. Thank you, David. Thank you, Mink. There it is. See Female Trouble. Have you gone to any of the Broadway shows at all?
No,
You missed me.
not since I read about it. I didn't see it.
All the good things close.
I went to see Salome.
Oh, Solomon.
And Stage Blood, I saw the other one. It was good. And
Back to the snow, right?
Look, it's sunny out.
You got to
Yeah.
And there's going to be a snow.
Maybe we can take Skadoos back uptown.
What's that? Oh.
Well, thank you again. Sure.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Can you shake the long way out of the box?
You want to rest? Definitely we should. Is this from my garden?